After you give your 90-day notice, the counteroffer. If you're new to this series, you must simply go back and listen to the prior two because we're building on how to make a 90-day notice guidebook for you, how to survive turning in your 90-day notice to an institution. And this is the last of our series for now, at least, the counteroffer. So after you give your 90-day notice, I want you to all keep in mind it might not get worse, it might get better. You might be celebrated. Your chair might be genuinely happy for you. Your colleagues might throw you a party. The transition might be smooth and full of grace and professionalism. This happens all the time. So I want you to leave room for this best case scenario. And part of things getting better is you might get a counter offer that's really exciting. And it might look like the chairs, and I've seen this happen in many ways. So as soon as you give your notice, your chair offers you something, or after you've given your notice and they've had some time to work through what's available and talk to the people, they might come to you a few days, a few weeks later with a counter offer. And it might involve a lot more money, a title, better schedule, no call, no frozen sections. It might involve a new office. You may see them bring forward all kinds of things that were never on the table before. And I want to give you some advice on how you can handle it. The first piece of this is to strip out all the emotion, all the heavy experiences, baggage, luggage, stories, politics, put it all on the shelf. All of it is facts. All of it we honor and respect. And as long as that's on board, you're not going to be able to make a good decision. So let's put all the story, we're going to heave it on a shelf. And now we're just going to come to this offer letter. They're offering you this much money to do this kind of work. And do you love it or not? Does it feel exciting or not? This by itself, would you say yes to it if it was any other job? Does it have you giddy about the job? If the answer is no, this is terrible. It's a pay cut. It's more work. It's worse. The answer is absolutely no. Move on, let them know graciously and move on. But if you look at it, you're like, holy moly, this is crazy. How can they afford it? Everyone's going to be jealous. I can't say no to this. If that's your response, then what we need to do is say yes to this or negotiate to make it even better and get coached on everything on the shelf. Listen, everything on the shelf you do not want in your life, no matter what. This job or the next, you want to deal with this. In therapy, with coaching, I can help you release that in one call. If dealing with it also means you accept this dream job that pays you pro athlete money for doing all the work you want and schedule you pick with no call, let's say yes and then go get coached on everything on the shelf. That's what I'm inviting you to do. Okay, I'm going to look at this in a couple of different ways. So what if you don't get a counter offer? First of all, you really don't know you're not getting a counter offer until you're out the door. Some people, as soon as you give them their notice or you have a few meetings, they just need a little time to get their senses about them. So your counter offer might be coming. Don't count yourself out. You just had a conversation. I know I talked to so many people that are like, last week, Christina, I gave them my notice and nothing has come in. Whoa, 1 week is not a long time. You are sitting on a 90-day notice. They have a lot of time to work with you. And 1 week for an institution to invent a celebrity job for you, that's not enough time. So hold on. Your counter offer might be coming. You can also ask for a counter offer. You can say, hey, listen, I'm going to put in my 90-day notice. It's been great to work with you, but I need to put in my notice. If you have a counter offer, I would love to hear it. You can solicit a counter offer. You can negotiate for a counter offer. So it doesn't mean it's not coming. You need to be thinking, okay, when I hear a woman say, I haven't got a counter offer, I'm always like, why are we not taking control of our career? Why are we not? If you want one, ask for one. We are in charge of our career. If you want one, you deserve it. Let's get it. So for my clients, when they come in and they tell me I haven't got a counter offer, I say, okay, let's go get your counter offer, right? It's not something that happens to us. We go out there and get it. All right, let's just say your institution says you're not getting a counter offer. By the way, none of my clients get that. So if you're getting radio silence in your job, you need to be in my program. Something is fundamentally going wrong with this. None of my clients ever ever, ever don't get a counter offer. So, but let's go to that place. And they said, no, we're not going to be able to give you a counter offer. I want you to hear this. It's not because you're not valuable, you're not worthy. It's because they cannot keep you and they know it. They know the salary they give you is terrible, that the schedule they give you is terrible, and they can't do better. They don't have the resources. The leaders don't have authority. If they don't offer it, it's because they can't give it. It's not because a better person would get more or different. You have to know that. All right. So, we have to know that because how you leave matters. If you leave telling yourself you weren't worthy, this leave will be deeply traumatic and it will cause you pain the rest of your life. You don't deserve that. So they just couldn't. And this is, if you go back to episode 2, I tell you, my chair was like, listen, I can't offer you anything. This job is a pretty terrible job. Right. We just can't offer you because then we'll have to offer for this person and the next. And so she just said, it wasn't about you. It was just like, we just can't offer anything better. What you've got, the second job, dang, that's a good job. I'd love to. This is so interesting. When I told her about the job I was leaving, she was like, gosh, I wonder if they have an opening for me. She's like, I wish we could do that here. We can't. It's not about you, love. It is about them. It's just about what they can do. Like the more you can make it less emotional, the less emotional you'll feel about it. It's not about you. It's like, it's the resources they had. It's like if we went to Macy's and we asked, could they do a haircut for us? I mean, I don't know, maybe Macy's has a salon. We went to Macy's and we asked them, could they give us our estrogen patches for our hormone replacement therapy and menopause? Macy's would be like, I'm so sorry, we don't do that. We wouldn't be mad at Macy's. They didn't do it. It'd be like, we're going to go over to CVS and get our hormone patches, right? Why I suggest this is not to defend the institution, because it is to make sure you're not carrying a long moral injury and emotional burden. And anytime we say, well, they couldn't give it to us because it was a terrible job, it just is so heavy on us. Macy's doesn't sell hormone replacement therapy. Now we move on. All right, next. So if you get a counter offer, this happens to so many of my clients. They're like, Christina, this doesn't even make sense. How can they possibly offer me all of this when I was an employee, they couldn't? How can they possibly do this? Their answer is in the question. When you were an employee and fully committed and present, they weren't going to give you any of this because you were an employee and fully present and committed to them. The moment you start walking out the door, they start finding other resources to keep you. It's because of the setup of the negotiations. It's like when you go to a car dealership, my mom, she would routinely, even if it was a great price, even if she loved the car, she liked the salesperson, they were friends for decades. Every time she bought a car, she always told herself, I'm going to get up at some point in negotiation and walk out and you just follow me. Right? That's a smart move. She's a single mom getting a car. She could really get a terrible deal. They could really take advantage of her. But she always said, no matter what, I'm walking out and they're going to call me back with a much better deal. And that's when we'll buy the car. That's smart negotiating for my mom, who's a single mom. I want you to consider what's happening in your institution is the same. They are not going to give you the best until they know you're leaving. Not because they're sleazy, it's a gross university, because that's how medicine works. If you want to think it's because they're sleazy and gross, you can, but it will be an emotional tax for you. Anytime your body's like they're sleazy and gross, it's going to tie you to them. I want to liberate you from them. It's just how medicine works. This is how they're playing a game that their bosses taught them to play. If they don't play this way, they will get in trouble. Their bosses will turn their screws. Their bosses will say, your job is to do more with fewer resources. You're hogging up the resources. Look what internal medicine is doing. How dare you? Their boss is turning your boss's screws to do more with less. Of course, they're not going to offer you more until you walk out. Their boss is telling them, hold the line on compensation until you absolutely have to move. Don't give anything more until your hand is forced. It's just how it works. They are not withholding because you're not valuable. Take it off the table. You are iconic. They're withholding because they're afraid of getting in trouble with their boss. Now, when you're leaving, now they know they're really going to get in trouble with their boss, right? Because if they lose you, how's the service going to run? And then suddenly all they're able to accumulate all these resources that aren't available until you say you're going to leave. I'm not saying, by the way, pretend you're going to leave to get this. I would highly recommend do not threaten to leave unless you're ready to go. I'm talking the unique individual, the person has decided they've left, they have their next job lined up, or they have sabbatical lined up, their bills are paid, everything's intentional, nothing is reactive. They turn in their 90 days, and then their boss comes around and says, listen, I want you to stay, and here's the counteroffer. Hear me. Do not misread or assume. I don't want you threatening to leave, but you really want to stay. And the scenario I want to avoid is you reactively say, well, I'm walking out, and you have no plans in place. This is not the podcast for you. This is a podcast for someone who's very intentionally put in her 90-day notice, and her chair has come back and said, we want you to stay. Okay, so let's keep going. This is what I want you to hear. If you're looking at this nuts and bolt offer, we've taken off all the emotions. And this offer genuinely improves your quality of life. It's what you love to do, and you're getting paid more money than you ever thought possible. Get it in writing and accept it. I would say sleep on it for a few nights. I would say you can negotiate the counter offer too. You can say, hey, I love this. Let's make this work. But what I'm going to need is my coaching paid for. What I'm going to need is $50,000 bonus. What I'm going to need is a loyalty incentive. What I'm going to need is for the non-compete clause to dissolve. This is a negotiation too. When you get the terms you love, get it in writing and get coached on the rest, everything on the shelf, all the emotional history piece, the PTSD. Because if you don't, all that PTSD stuff is going to come up eventually. Might as well take care of it so you can release it, right? And then I want you to remember that this amazing offer you created is like celebrity pro athlete money status. You created that. From who you are to the work you've done to the relationships you've built. You created all of it. I don't want you to give all the credit to this institution. I want to give it you. I wanted to give it to you. You created it, celebrate it. None of this would exist without you. It's because you're iconic. You are allowed to keep the conversation going until it feels just right. You're allowed to say no if you want to walk away. You're allowed to say, heck yeah, I'm taking this. But get a couple of nights of sleep. This is a good thing to run by your coach and your inner circle. What can really help you to hear is that no matter what, your life is getting better. You're either saying yes and this gets better, or you're saying no and you're going to another job or sabbatical and it gets better. Either way, everything is going to get better. The thing to keep in mind is these kinds of iconic shifts to your job where it's like, what? You can get paid that much money in academic medicine? This entirely resets your job. And I think this is why it's really important to have a coach on board, is because you're not going back to the same job. Once you do this kind of reset 90-day notice, and then you have a counter offer and everything resets. You become the boss of your time. You decide your schedule, right? When this is happening, you are not the same faculty member. This is a totally different job. And there may be parts of the job that are going to be hard in this new situation. In my mind, all of the rest is to be coached on. So your moody boss who says yes and no and all the things she does and the unfair schedules. Well, we just negotiated for that. We got the schedule fair. Will your boss still be moody? 100%. Does it have to bother you? Never again. Make sure you get coached for that. All right, let's do counter offer sprints. Before I give you some counter offer sprints, these are fast action things you can do when you have a counter offer. I want to ask you to please share this episode, rate and review the podcast. It tells me what you like, and it helps get the podcast out to more people like you. All right, let's run through the sprints. Know your numbers before you walk into any counter conversation. Before you hear them, what would make you so excited? What would make you giddy to stay? Give yourself a 48-hour decision embargo. Don't say yes to anything on the spot. You can say, I'm reading, I'm considering, I'm very interested. Give yourself time to think about it. Call your most strategic friends. Run this by your career coach. Is there something else here we can be negotiating for? This is a great opportunity to negotiate. Ask for your counter offer in writing. Don't cancel any interviews until you're sure about this. You can negotiate the counter offer. If you stay, you want to tell yourself a very empowering story. I wanted more. I got more. Of course, I stayed. I'm so proud of me. If you leave, tell yourself a very empowering story. I wanted more. This wasn't enough. I deserved more. I got more. I left. I'm so proud of myself. Either way, be proud of you. Use the counter conversation to make your next job better. If you get a strong counter offer, bring it to the job you're considering. Here's what the institution wants me to consider. want to bring this up to see if there's anything we can do on your side. How you do this matters. It has to be very delicate or you may lose both offers. So definitely script this out with me inside of the program. Always ask for your leadership coach to be paid for. In summary, not every departure goes sideways. Some institutions might surprise you. They may show up with everything you deserved all along the way, plus so much more. They could be very, very excited and celebrate you. And it could be a beautiful transition into your new role at the institution or out. Whether you get a counteroffer or not is nothing about your worth. It's just about what the institution can do. Evaluate the counteroffer as facts. Leave the story and emotions to your coach. Decide on what's best for you. No matter what you do, be proud of yourself. It's the right decision. Come to coaching for the rest. Every part of you deserves so much more. If you're thinking of turning in your 90-day notice, or if you already have, you need a life support team. Join Next Level Freedom today. We are a lifetime community. We coach you every week for the rest of my life, including curriculum, live coaching, podcast, guest speakers, bonus trainings. It's a one-time payment of $2,500. And let me tell you, you will not have to pay for it because when I get you a 100K raise, your coaching is paid for life. So join our program today. Book a sales call today, and we'll see you in there this week. And if I could please ask you to rate and review this podcast and share with your besties, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.